Hey guys, how's it going on? This video, didn't really know what I was doing when I walked into the gym, but I did want to start with core. Last couple times I started with core, and then my abs and my lower back feel really good. So I figured I'd start with it. I'm starting with my kind of posterior pelvic tilts and it's the deepest core muscle in your body, your transverse abdominis activations. So just working on like a core. When I say core, I'm referring to my transverse abdominis muscle. So just doing some core isometric contractions, really focusing on that I'm just activating it from my stomach and not so much from my glutes, because your glute is also a posterior pelvic tilt muscle. And yes, it's important to use it when in your everyday life. However, just for the purpose of that I'm training my core, I just want to use my core, not so much my glutes. Next, I'm starting with keeping that core contraction, and I'm doing single leg marches with these core contractions. So I'm keeping my core contracted while I'm raising my leg. If I do rest at all, it is when my foot touches the floor. I'm keeping my core engaged while lifting and lowering my leg. I really am bad at counting. I just kind of go until I feel a decent burn on each side. I'm not really looking for a correct count. However, if you are, try to do at least 10 per leg and just go back and forth a couple times. As I'm doing this, I'm keeping my core engaged while I'm lifting and lowering my leg. As you're doing this, make sure you're breathing. If you're not breathing, you're not contracting your transverse abdominis, you're contracting your diaphragm. If you're contracting your diaphragm, that means you are not breathing. If you're not breathing, your brain and your muscles and your organs are not getting oxygen, which is not good. Next, I lead into my transverse abdominis activation with leg extension. This one is a little bit harder because as you extend your leg, your back wants to arch off the floor, or extend. So make sure you keep your core engaged all the way through the motion, so then that way your lower back does not come off the floor. You keep that core, you keep your back flat, your core engaged, not letting anything move at all beside your legs. You'll see here, I point my toes on some of them. I don't point on some other ones. I was just mixing it up. Doesn't really matter. Next, after working on my lower abs, I'm going to work on my upper abs. So still focusing on slightly keeping my transverse abdominis engaged, but really otherwise just trying to keep a nice neutral upper, mid-back, and cervical spine positioning. Just trying to go up enough to where my shoulder blades are getting up off the floor, but I'm not doing anything that's going to cause pain through my lower back. I'm just going up enough where my shoulder blades come off the floor and controlled back down. Breathing is really key on this. So what I like to do is I like to breathe out on the way up and breathe in on the way down. This is really going to increase your core contraction while you're doing these crunches. So breathe out on the way up, breathe in on the way down. You can easily progress this by changing your hand positioning, adding weight, increasing the number of reps, the amount of sets that you do. Like I said, I did this because I really targeted my upper abs, which is something I wanted to do. Next thing I'm doing here is this cross-body crunch. So incorporating my leg and my shoulder now. Your other hand can be out to the side, resting on your belly. Really anywhere that feels comfortable. I try not to leave it on the floor too much because you can kind of cheat by using it to leverage your upper body up. If you're really good at this, you can keep your leg straight and not bend it. And as well, you can keep your hands straight and instead of using a bent arm like how I am. Again, I just do this one because that's how my hips and my knees and my shoulders prefer it. But feel free to keep your legs and arm extended as you do. Again, I never count. I just kind of go where I feel a good burn on each side. As you are lifting your upper body to your leg, just go up enough to where you're not letting both your shoulder blades come off the floor. Just go to where the arm that's moving, that's the side that's lifting. So right now, my left arm is moving, so only my left shoulder blade is coming off the floor, and my right shoulder blade is staying down and stable. If your other shoulder blade starts to come off the floor, you're compensating too much, and you just may need to do a lower range of motion. Again, after that crossbody crunch, I'm going into another set of these crunches, again, just to really hit my upper abs and work at least the full front side of my core on this day. Okay, now after those crunches, I'm going to go into what ab exercise called the dead bug. It's called the dead bug because you don't look like a dead cockroach. So both your legs are up in the air, both your arms are up in the air. You're engaging your transverse abdominis, engaging your core, keeping your back flat off or flat onto the ground. This is another reason why at the very beginning why I didn't use my legs to activate that posterior pelvic tilt, because as you see here, my legs are not on the ground, so therefore cannot be used to stabilize my core and my lower back. So both legs go up, both arms go up, and then you're just extending both opposite arm, opposite leg. So right arm, left leg, right arm, extending it all the way through, keeping your core engaged, nice and tight, all the way up and all the way back to the center. This really works your whole entire core. Again, try to do both sides, so 5 on each side, 10 on each side, etc. Alrighty, so today I walked in really feeling like I wanted to do chest today. So as I was doing this, I was able to find an open bench. I warmed up with the bar. I didn't record that part. This first part, warming up at the 25. I know it looks like I'm benching crooked. That's just because of the camera angle. Yeah, it was completely flat. So warming up with 25 on each side, so 95 pounds total for this lift. Warm up with about anywhere from 10 to 15 reps. I think I did about 12 reps here. Good. Now that first set of 95 pounds for 12 felt really, really nice. So I moved up to a 45 pound plate on each side. So 135 pounds total, 135 pounds total. Making sure my grip positioning is correct. I think this felt really nice. So I did about 10 or 12 reps here Changed the camera angle a little bit. However, I still think my phone was tilted, so it looks like I'm benching uneven. However, it felt totally fine. Good, lock that in. I always try to really be careful on the lockout. One day I was being over ambitious and locked out the weight, and then it like bounced off and like de-racked itself and almost hit me. So thankfully I had a spotter or somebody nearby to save it. That 135 felt really nice. Typically I never jump up this high because bench press is one of those scarier lifts for me. Just out of the fear that nothing happens, the bar's on top of you. So I must have felt really confident today to do this lift. It's 185 pounds on the bar. I did it for 6 repetitions, and I believe on video I have two sets of 6, and just because of my surrounding area, I did a 3rd set off camera. Again, 3 sets of 6 for 185 pounds. This is a big accomplishment for me because typically after I hit 185 pounds for 6, I either go up or I'll call it there for the day. Especially when I'm working out by myself, 185 for 6 is a huge win, especially for multiple sets. So I think those core exercises help keep my core engaged. Really prioritize leg drive, and really strong explosive power, keeping that bar in a good neutral path, not letting it come too far above or below kind of like my chest nipple line. It's kind of where you want to be for a good flat bench chest press, at least. It's a different technique on incline, different types of angles and curvatures. Again, going for 6. I'm not sure if you can hear it in the video, but I am yelling like push, push, push as I'm doing it because I don't want it to let it fail. Next, I wanted to do some flies. All the fly machines and cable flies were all taken, so went back to my good old-fashioned dumbbell flies. I went really light on these, 20 pounds, just because I don't do dumbbell flies a whole lot. I think it's been a couple years since I've done dumbbell flies, so kept it really light, really focusing on good control, trying to keep my arms as straight as possible. I did bend my elbows just a little bit, like I said, try to keep my arms as straight as possible. Very minimal elbow bend, working through a full stretch, so letting my arms come down. As my arms come down, and squeezing my shoulder blades together, really working on that scapular retraction and getting that big stretch into the chest, and then good squeeze up at the top. Again, I'm really bad at counting. I probably did anywhere from 10 to 15 reps, just working on a good stretch of the chest muscle. I had the bench at an incline, like level 2 or level 3 incline. I'm not sure of the exact degrees, just to simulate if I was doing an incline cable fly with the actual cables. Good. And then next I did the same exact thing. I was able to record this set. I stayed at 20 pounds just because it felt nice on my shoulders and on my chest. As soon as I started this set, I told myself I probably could have gone up to 25 pounds, but I'm glad I didn't because this set felt even better than that first set of dumbbell flies. I was able to go way deeper on that stretch opening up my chest, squeezing my shoulder blades together. It felt really, really nice. Ultimately, I knew I was just doing this as an intermediate transition lift. I wanted to hit incline chest next, so this was just a good stretch and kind of switch from pressing, because I probably could have gone from that flat dumbbell or flat barbell chest press into an incline dumbbell chest press, but I probably would have been way more fatigued. So by doing this fly, just gave my chest a different type of, just a break from pressing, but still worked what I needed to be worked. Again, going nice and slow, going all the way as I can on the bottom, big squeeze at the top. Next, after those 2 sets of flies, I felt like it was good enough time as ever to start my incline chest press. So again, my bench is at a level 2 or level 3 incline, big squeeze up and big stretch down. I think I did about a 1, 2, potentially 3 second pause if I was good at counting, but at least a 1 or 2 second pause all the way at the bottom of the rep. Get a big stretch in the chest again and big squeeze up. I believe I did, I'm not sure how many sets I did here, so we will find that out together. Again, not really focusing on big numbers here. I could have gone way higher in all of these. Maybe not by a whole lot, or maybe if I had started on this. But incline chest is always a little harder because you have more incline chest fibers that you have to activate. Plus how the angle works of your chest and the muscle, it just makes it more difficult. So just really happy with my overall strength as I've progressed over the years with doing this task. Good. Here's me posing, getting that thumbnail. Felt really big. Was there popping my pecs today. So I think just because I was a little, my muscles were a little shocked from the new pressing movement because I had taken a whole exercise off, and I was still prioritizing that big stretch. I did one more set here at 45 pounds. Just to get my rhythm, get my flow. Wasn't too concerned about the weight at the time. Honestly thought I was going to do all 3 to 4 sets here at the 45 pounds, but as I moved on, it felt easier, so I went up in weight. Again, if something feels like a 10 out of 10 on that RPE scale, I probably will stay there or call it there, because that's like 1 rep max. You're giving it all you got, or if you are doing a ton of reps, like that 10th and final rep is like everything you got. So this round of 45s felt like maybe a 6 out of 10 on the RPE scale. So I knew I had a lot more, or a little bit more room to go. Yep, so went up in weight this time. I think I went up to 50s. So again, same process, focusing on big squeeze at the bottom and a big squeeze at the top, working all the way through the motion with good control.
What was that? I couldn't get it up. Well, you said, that was your mom that had it too. Yeah. Go lower. But if you don't want to, you're good. You don't want to force on getting beans, you know. Oh, you go. You hold, pipe up.